Welcome to the Bourbon Friday show, where every Friday we take a short break, try a new bourbon, and meet someone interesting from the St. Louis startup scene. I'm your host, Nick Niehaus, and today I'm interviewing Bree Maniscalco, the Director of Development for Cinema St. Louis. So, Bree, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for joining us. So, tell us a little bit about Cinema St. Louis just to get things started.
Sure. So we actually started as a small group of nonprofits and universities that came together to host the first ever St. Louis Film Festival back in 1992.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So you've been doing this for a while now.
For a while. And then eventually it grew and they added international programming. So that's when it became the St. Louis International Film Festival.
Cool.
And then in 2002, they decided to expand and do year-round programming. And so we rebranded and became Cinema St. Louis.
Very cool. Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot you guys do. That's exciting. So
we do.
You started with the one festival. So kind of what has that expanded into? What's all the programming that you guys run?
Yeah. So our main event is the St. Louis International Film Festival in November. It goes by SLIF. Most people know it as that. And then we also do in the spring, we do a classic French film festival. Followed by Q-Fest. So it's LGBTQ related films.
Oh, okay.
And then we do some summer events, and those are geared more toward filmmakers. So we do the 48-hour film project and the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase, and then we do free filmmaking camps for kids.
Wow, okay. So lots going on. Sounds like you stay pretty busy. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just start with some of the kids programming. So kind of the last things you mentioned there. So what kind of stuff can kids get involved in, and then we'll look at some of the other stuff later.
Definitely, yeah. So kids these days, it's kind of hard to get them off their phones.
Sure, yeah.
So our main thing is that it's not just seeing a movie. When you go to one of our events, you actually get to interact with the filmmaker.
Oh, okay.
So many of our events have the filmmaker or a subject from the film that will accompany it. And they'll talk about the film and ask questions, so everyone gets to kind of learn more.
Sure.
So through our filmmaking camps, we invite kids, and it's a free program for ages 12 to 18 to get a hands-on experience. And they learn everything from live action, documentary, stop motion, and green screen filmmaking.
Wow, okay.
And then during SLIF, we do Cinema for Students, and that's a free program for area schools. Where basically we either screen the film at the school if they have the ability to do that, or they can come to one of our venues during the fest and we reimburse them for busing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So very accessible, it sounds like.
Very accessible, yes. And affordable, because lots of budgets have been cut in schools for arts and field trips.
Okay.
So again, the filmmakers will go to those screenings and interact with the kids, and oftentimes the filmmakers will say that those are some of the best questions they get.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's very exciting.
So these students, I mean, obviously, I know everybody's on, like I said, on their phones all the time, right? But at the same time, there's a camera built into that phone. So are some of them experimenting with this stuff before they come in, or are you kind of opening them up to that opportunity?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's both of those things. So our filmmaking camps kind of introduce the kids to the new ways that they can explore film. But nowadays, because of those devices, kids have that experience in making short films. Our St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase this summer had its youngest participant ever. At the time when she submitted her short film, she was 12 years old. 12? Yes.
Wow, okay.
So, and then by the time her film screened, she was 13. And that's among, hundreds of films that have been submitted, and she was selected. So
really?
It was more than just a phone-made video. Sure. It was pretty impressive. So that's the kind of growth we like to see in the kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if the students get excited about doing this stuff, how do they access some of the equipment? Because I know that's one of the things when it comes to filmmaking can be cost prohibitive, right?
It can.
I mean, some of these cameras and lights and everything.
Definitely. So we collaborate with a lot of organizations in town that can help with that.
Okay.
So one of our partners is the St. Louis Science Center. And this year, with their first Fridays events, we did one focused on filmmaking. And so they did different stages where kids could actually come and experience the equipment and learn on it. And then we connect with resources in town. So a lot of our universities have tremendous film studies programs. So there's a good resource there, and then through our filmmaking camps as well.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about the adults a little bit now, right? Because I'm an adult and I want to hear what I can get out of this, right? So,
exactly.
Obviously we do a lot of our own video type of stuff. My business is very focused on video. So, Do you have, I mean, I know you have the festivals and whatnot where somebody that already knows what they're doing can come in and submit a film, but do you have anything in between where somebody that's kind of trying to learn these things as an adult can also participate?
Yeah, definitely. So at SLIF in November, we have the new Filmmakers Forum.
Okay.
And as part of that, we actually invite those filmmakers to do discussions. So it's actually a coffee get-together where people can come for free and learn about the, how to make films from people that are new to it, but also who are experienced. And then we'll sometimes offer master classes or conversations with filmmakers so people can understand what that might look like in terms of an interest in documentary, or last year we had a master class on Hitchcock.
Oh, really?
So there's a lot of different ways that people can get involved. And then, as I mentioned, we have the 48-hour film project.
Okay.
So that it's a lot of university students, but there's also adults, and they form teams and they come together and they have 48 hours to make a short film.
Wow. Okay. And sounds like a hackathon. We were talking about that a few weeks ago. Global
exactly.
hack. Yeah. Okay.
And the winner of that actually goes on to the global competition. So it's more than just making a short film. It's a lot of fun.
So in 48 hours, they can make something good enough to submit to other contests? Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you do something like that, I mean, do people come together with different experiences and kind of skills? Like, is there like the camera guy and then the sound guy and kind of that sort of thing, or does everybody do the same sort of stuff?
Yeah. No. People come like the best teams come very prepared and have someone who is very skilled at doing each of those things.
Cool.
But then we also have the teams that are new to it. So in each of the films, you get to see if when they're screened on our partner organization, which this last year was Washington University.
Okay.
So you get to actually see the films that have submitted their entries. And so you see everything from those very polished films to films that you can tell that it's someone who's new to it, but it's also exciting because you're seeing something from a different perspective, and it shows a lot of growth and potential.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned before we went live here that you're one of the few, you guys are one of the few places somebody can submit their film and then qualify for the Oscars.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So tell us, how does that work?
Yeah,
right?
definitely. So the St. Louis International Film Festival, SLIF, in November, we have a huge portion of it that are short films.
Okay.
And we are one of about 40 film festivals around the world where if you submit your short and it wins one of the awards at our film festival, then you actually are qualify for Oscar submissions.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah,
very impressive.
It's something that not a lot of film festivals can say that they offer.
Yeah, I bet.
So we get a lot of short film submissions throughout the year.
Cool. So has that been from day one you've had that, or was that something you'd apply to qualify for? How do you get to that position?
It was something that came along after a while. We're entering our 27th year.
Yeah.
And so it kind of grows each year, and just the awareness of our film festival, we're not just, we are a regional film festival, but we're growing a lot more too. So the awareness among filmmakers and attendees and even studios, we're getting a lot more studio films now.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this year we have a film for Netflix and lots of other new studios as well. So
very cool.
It's exciting to be growing as a film festival as well.
Yeah. So I know it's obviously international, so I'm assuming there's several films at least from overseas. But how much of this are we talking about is coming from overseas? Is this a lot of different countries submitting films?
Yeah. So this year for the International Film Festival, it will run November 1st to the 11th.
Okay.
And there's 414 films that you can see over the course of those 11 days.
Okay.
And we're in about 14 venues across the area this year.
Okay, wow.
So of those films, over 150 filmmakers are coming, so they'll participate in those Q&As and panels. And it's about 63 countries this year.
Wow,
so I think it's every continent except Antarctica.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect to get one from there, right?
But although maybe some sort of documentary on
that's true.
global warming or something.
Right,
yeah.
Cool. So I know you said there's 14 different locations. Is there kind of a primary spot to go to, or how does somebody participate?
Yeah, our primary venue is the Tivoli in the Del Mar Loop. And then we also are at Plaza Frontenac. So those have been our two mainstays for quite some time. And then we're also at Webster University, Washington University, Missouri History Museum, and then this year we actually added a new venue. It's the Gathering. It's their new location they built just outside of Maplewood.
Okay.
So it has a huge room that can seat up to 500 people.
Really? Okay.
And their audio visual is tremendous, so we're pretty excited to be adding that as a venue
Good enough to show films there, huh?
Yeah. And then we also are at the stage at KDHX. Okay. So we do a lot of our films that come with music performances at that venue.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants tickets, is it per venue or how does that work?
It's per venue, per film. We do have a lot of free programs. It's over 60 programs are free this year.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much everything at Washington University is free. That's where we do our human rights spotlight films. So things that are of local and global relevance in terms of hot topics right now.
Sure.
Cool. And then our family programming is free. And then we have some free events sprinkled throughout it. But our standard admission is $13.
Okay.
And then if you're a Cinema St. Louis member, it's $10. Or if you're a student, it's $10.
All right, not bad.
So we do have some special events like the ones that are double films or the ones that come with music performances or special guests. Those are a little bit higher. But
makes sense, yeah.
You know, you might get to meet John Goodman or Jason Reitman.
Well, there you go.
So,
okay. Worth it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Very cool. All right, and so obviously we're getting close to the week, or week and a half, I guess,
it's coming.
right?
Yeah.
Are you still taking submissions? I'm assuming that that's probably already wrapped up, right?
It did wrap up. So submissions, it ran January through July, and we got just over 2,400 submissions.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot
of
films.
So that was, kind of one of my last questions for you is like, how do you screen through that many submissions? Like, how do you pick the ones that are going to make it?
Yeah, so we have a pretty small staff. There's only 4 of us.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So we rely on a lot of volunteers. Who are experts in the industry who help screen those films.
Gotcha.
So we have an artistic director who's been with us for almost 20 years, so he has a lot of experience. And then we also have our operations supervisor who has a lot of experience with shorts, and then of course our executive director as well has a lot of experience. So they kind of help spearhead those efforts in screening the films and making sure that we're, giving opportunities to filmmakers that maybe haven't had the chance before.
Okay.
But then also bringing some of those really unique and popular films to the festival.
Gotcha. Got to have a variety.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so the last question then is if somebody wants to sign up either to submit a film next year or they're looking to get tickets, is there a website they should go to, or how do they do that?
So our website is cinemastlouis.org. So it's cinemastllouis.org.
Okay.
And as soon as you pull up the website, everything is SLIF right now. So it's pretty easy to find the program. It's a large book, but you can actually download it, and it's friendly for mobile devices.
Oh, cool.
You can see everything. You can search the films by genre or venue or country. There's lots of different ways to kind of filter through all of those films.
Cool.
And then you can see which films are playing at each venue, and the ticket links are there. So whether you go to Landmark to buy the tickets or some of our other venues, it's all online. And then if you want to submit films for the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase, and then for next year's SLIF, those will go online later on in 2019.
Very cool. All right.
So,
sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So
it is a lot of fun.
Get on the website.
And people can volunteer too. So
okay. You looking for some volunteers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that you don't have to just buy a ticket, although we do welcome that.
Sure.
But if you want to volunteer, we need people to help with handing out tickets and ballots and programs.
Sure.
We have over about 400 volunteers that help us. And we literally couldn't do it without them. So we're still looking for people. You can go onto our website to sign up.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we got a couple minutes left, so we always do this at the end. We're going to invite the founder of Bourbon Friday himself, Eric, and he is going to be telling us about the bourbon that we're drinking today. So what are we sipping on here?
So it'd be easy to say, what are bourbons featured in movies? Because, bourbon's been around probably longer than film. Be easy, we could call JTS Brown from The Hustler. We could call Jack Daniels from The Shining, Four Roses from Rocky, or Maker's Mark because it was Sam Raimi's favorite in Spider-Man. But I thought, what if we went the other direction? Because film impacts us too, right? So this is Old Forester Statesman. Now, there is a series of movies called The Kingsman, right? Kingsman 2, spoiler warning. The Statesmen were the U.S. version of the Kingsmen. They're the secret, clandestine spy group. So Old Forester created a bourbon called Statesman to go along with that movie.
Huh.
Very cool.
I never knew that.
Influencing each other. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the shirt choice, by the way, too.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. So we got a couple minutes left, 1 or 2 minutes. Eric, do you have any updates for us about Bourbon? Obviously, we got something kind of cool going on tonight here.
Sure. So, of course, we have Cinema St. Louis here tonight. So we're expanding out to different areas. We're going to start inviting people in. We're probably going to continue this Eventbrite thing where you normally didn't have like an easy way for everybody to register.
Cool.
We're going to start doing that. Stay tuned for more information on Facebook, facebook.com/Bourbon Friday. Go like it, and you can get more information there.
Very cool. All right.
And then I guess other stuff going on T-Rex.
Sure.
Bourbon Friday, or their sales training here.
That's right. Sales mentor training. Yep.
Next week.
Yeah. So Tuesday evening, I believe.
You can go find out more information at Bourbon Friday Show /SMSTL. And also in a couple weeks on November 7th, is Startup Connection, which is over in the Globe Building, which is only a couple blocks away. It's the largest entrepreneurial celebration of the year. So there was 1,200 people there last year.
Wow.
Go get tickets. You can find out more information at startupconnection.org.
Cool. Yeah, I will be there as a sponsor, so it should be a lot of fun. Cool. Well, Eric, thanks for joining us as always. Bree, we appreciate you being on the show today.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so for those of you watching, thanks for tuning in. This is the Bourbon Friday show, which we do every Friday at 4:30. Thank you to EQ for always streaming us through your Facebook page. Thanks to T-Rex for hosting us. Thank you to Babajide for stepping in to produce the show today. That was definitely helpful. And for those of you watching, please tune in again next week on Friday at 4:30 for the Bourbon Friday show. Thank you for joining us.